Intense, right?
Yeah.
It's God, our sins, paying everyone life. Greatest story ever told that's hardly ever told. God. Yes, God. The maker and giver of life. And by life, I mean any and all manner and substance. Seen and unseen, what can and can't be touched. Thoughts, image, emotions, love, atoms, and oceans, God. All of it is handiwork, one of which is masterpiece, and it was made so uniquely that angels look curiously. It's the one thing in creation that was made with his imagery, the concept. It's so cold. It's the reason I stay bold, how God breathed in a man and he became a living soul. And he was formed with an intent of being infinitely, intimately formed. Creator and creation held an eternal bond. And he was placed in perfect paradise till something went wrong and the species got deceived and started lusting for his job on the odd list of complaints as if the system ain't working. And used that same breath he graciously gave us to curse him. And that sin seed, it spread through our soul's genome. And by nature of your nature, your species, you participated in the mutiny, yes, our sins. As nature inherited, black in the human heart, it was over before it started, deceived from day one and led away by our own lust. It's not a religion in the world that doesn't agree that something's wrong with us. Question is, what is it? How do we fix it? Are we eternally separated from a God that may or may not have existed? But that's another subject. Let's keep grinding. Besides trying to prove God, it's like deep in a lion, homie. It don't need your help. Just unlock the cage. Let's move on how our debt can be paid. See, short and sweet, that problem is sin. Yes, sin. Boy, that's a cancer. An asthma, choking out our life force, forcing separation from this perfect and holy God. And the only way to get back is to get back to perfection. But silly us, trying to pass the course of life without referring to a syllabus. This is us. Go keep up your good deeds. You can chant, you can pray, you can meditate. But all of that, of course, is spraying cologne on a corpse. Or you could choose to ignore it, as if something don't stink. It's like stepping in dog poop and refusing to wipe your shoe, but all of that ends with how good is good enough. Take your silly list of good deeds, line them up against perfection. Good luck. Boy, that's like past your pay grade. And the cost of your soul, you ain't got a big enough piggy bank. But you can give it a shot. But I suggest you throw away the list. Because even your good acts are an extension of your selfishness. But here's where it gets interesting. I hope you're closely listening. Please don't get it twisted. It's what makes our faith unique. See, here's what God says is part A of the gospel. You can't fix yourself. Quit trying. It's impossible. Sin brings death. Give God his breath back. You owe him. Eternally separated. The only way to fix it is for someone to die in your place. But that someone gotta be perfect. Or the payment ain't permanent. So if and when you find a perfect person, get him or her to willingly trade their perfection for your sin and death. Clear. Since the only one that can meet God's criteria is God, God sends himself as Jesus to pay the cost for us. Boy, that's his righteousness. And it's his death. And it functions as payment. Yes, payment. Writes a check with his life. But at the resurrection, we all cheered, because it means the check cleared. Hey, pierced feet, pierced hands, blood-stained son of man, fullness, forgiveness, free passage into the promised land. And same breath that God breathed into us, Christ gave up to redeem us. And anyone and everyone, and by everyone, I mean everyone, that puts their faith and trust in him, and him alone, can stand in full confidence of God's forgiveness. And here's what the promise is. You are guaranteed full access to return to perfect unity by simply holding to Christ. And Christ alone, you're receiving life. Yes, life. This is the gospel. God, our sins, paying everyone life.